So we're actually going to start with the parting process. So you position your comb well, your tail comb well. After you sharpen it very well. It shouldn't be too pointed that it's going to injure the customer. Then you make your first parting. As you are making your parting, you are adding hair wax to clear your hairlines. Then when you are done, you add it from the front down to the back. Then you try to clear your hairlines very well and try to get the exact size of cornrow that you want, or braid, anyone. So you try to get the exact size that you want. Then when you are done, you use your rubber band to clip the other hair so it's not going to distract you. Then you mold your gel. Then after you mold your gel, don't mold it so much, especially on people that have soft hair texture. Like this girl, she have a very soft hair texture. Her texture of hair is very nice, so I probably don't have to add too much because the hair is going to drop from my hand. Then when you add it, you brush it very well. Then you use the back of your comb to press the hair so it will lie down from the both sides. Then you make your first parting. Then you part it into 3 equal parts, which is from the edges. You part into 3 equal parts, then you weave, and then you start your stitches. So while stitching your braids, you grab the hair with your 2 fingers, then you pull it up a little, you stitch and you weave. So actually, from the front side of your braids, when you are making stitch braids, you're supposed to be stitching small, which the stitches are not really going to show from the beginning like that, but as time goes, they are actually going to show. So you stitch small, reason being that because you want the hair to be tight from the front side. So when you want the hair to be tight, you stitch small. So as soon as you get to notice that the hair is getting more thicker, that's when you start adding attachment small. Then when you are adding attachment, you grab the attachment with your 2 fingers from that other side and this side. Then you take the first slide inside, you release the other one from that was controlling the 2 fingers. Then you weave your hair and you take it inside again. Do you get? So when you get to the top side of the hair where the person's natural hair have become more thicker, so there's just no way, there's no enough space for you to stitch small again because of how thick the hair is. So you don't need to stitch small again. You try to expand it a little so that the hair will be able to suit in between the lines. Do you get? As you can see now, the stitches are not as tiny as it was from the edge side, but then the hair is still very tight. Do you understand?